Hello students, today in this lecture I will discuss the second type of dimensional analysis. Okay, I am talking about the numericals which belongs to the second type. Okay, in the last few lectures, say the last two lectures, we had discussed the numericals of type first. Okay, and today the numericals about which we are talking, okay, they are asked in the examinations usually for 2 marks or for, we can say 2 marks, 3 marks or 5 marks. But usually these numericals, they are asked for 5 marks in the examinations. Okay. Now, what you are going to do this in this type today, we are going to derive the relationship of one physical quantity with the other given physical quantities. Now, it is the speciality of this type. In this type, in the data, it is provided that a particular physical quantity is depending on the rest of the other physical quantities. Okay? Clear? Now, let me give you an illustration. It is the type second, and it is usually of 3 marks or 5 marks. Now in this type, what do you have to do? We have to derive the relationship between the different physical quantities. Got it? Okay. Now let's see how is the data provided in the problems. Okay, I am giving you one illustration and you have to note it down. Okay, always remember when you are watching these videos, they are the educational videos, the learning videos, so always you have to sit with pen and register. You have to note down each and everything written on the whiteboard, dictated by me in the correct sequence. Why? Because they will serve as the notes or the learning material for you. Okay. Now the question first. The time period capital T of the oscillating, or say the simple pendulum, I am saying simple pendulum, of the simple pendulum may depend upon mass m of the ball, comma, length L of the string, and acceleration due to gravity. Acceleration due to gravity, capital G, at the given place. At the place. Okay, it is the data. And what you have to do? You are going to derive the expression for the time period. Time period of the simple pendulum. Got it? Now, in this type, the time period of the simple pendulum, okay, it may depend upon, the first thing is the mass of the ball, the second thing is the length L of the string, and the third thing is acceleration due to gravity. Got it? The time period of the simple pendulum may depend upon the mass m of the ball, the length L of the string, and acceleration due to gravity G at the place. What is asked? We have to derive the expression for the time period of the simple pendulum. Okay? Now, let us start. And remember, as we did in the last two lectures, I am going to take up many examples in the next or the coming lecture. Okay? So today, in this lecture, what you are going to do, you are going to just clear how we are going to proceed in this particular type. That is to derive the dimensional formulas. Okay? Note it down. Had you noted it? Better note it down. Okay? Now, sirs, I am going to start in a stepwise approach. Now, let us see what we are going to step 1, the step 2, the step 3, 4th, and in the step 5th, we will get the result. Okay? Now, in the step 1, what you have to do? We have to write out the dependence. We have to write the dependence. Got it? Remember, the time period was depending. So we are going to write out the symbol. The symbol for time period was T, capital T. Dependence is represented by this sign. This sign is directly proportional. So we are going to say that time period is depending on. We are going to read the symbol as depending on. Depending on, the first thing was mass. Okay? So we are going to write out the symbol of the first quantity and raise its power to A. Okay? The first quantity was mass. So we are going to write out T is directly proportional to m raised to power A. Then the second quantity was length L. So T is directly proportional to length L. We are going to raise its power to B. Okay? Then the third physical quantity was acceleration due to gravity. We are going to write out the symbol for acceleration due to gravity. And we are going to raise its power to C. Got it? Now it is our step 1 complete. Got it? So in the step 1, what we did, we had written the dependence. Okay? Okay, in the question what was given in the data? In the data it was provided that the time period of the oscillating pendulum, which is usually called simple pendulum, it depends on the mass m of the ball, first thing. The second thing, the length L of the string. Third thing, the acceleration due to gravity. Okay? So in this way, we are going to write out the dependence. Okay? Clear? Now, in the step second, what you have to do? We are going to fuse these. We are going to fuse this dependence in a single step. In the step second, we are going to say T is directly proportional to m raised to power A, L raised to power B, and G was C. Got it? Now, to remove this proportionality sign, we have to put the proportionality constant. The proportionality constant which we are using is capital K. Okay, we are going to copy this entire thing, m raised to power A, L raised to power B, and G raised to power C. Got it? Now, in the step second, what we have obtained? We had obtained a equation. Got it? Equation which relates the different physical quantities. Got it? Now remember one thing. This K, it was a proportionality constant. K was the proportionality constant. And remember, it is always a dimensionless constant. So there is a need to write it out. K is the dimensionless constant. K is the dimensionless constant. Up to here, the step second is complete. Okay? Now, we are going to write out the step third. And remember one thing, sirs. There is no problem in the step 1. There is no problem in the step second. But in the step third, what do you have to do? We have to just write out the dimensional formulas of the different physical quantities which are present in the equation in the step second. So when you are starting the step third, then you have to be very careful. Okay? Why? Because you have to recall the dimensional formulas of the different physical quantities which are required in the equation. Okay? So you have to carefully write out the dimensional formulas. Okay? Now the step third. What you have to do in the step third, we have to write the dimensional formulas. Okay, now let us start. We are having time period. The dimensional formula for time period is M0, L0, capital T. And remember one more thing, that whenever you are writing out the dimensional formulas of the different physical quantities, then try to write out the dimensional formulas in terms of M, L and T. Okay? Got it? Okay. The dimensional formula for time period is M0, L0, capital T. Then we are having K. This K was dimensionless constant. So it will not have any dimensional formula. Its dimensional formula is nothing but 1. Okay? Its dimensional formula is M0, L0, T0. So in place of M0, L0, T0, what do you have to do? You have to just write 1. And there is no need to write out 1 in the equation. Okay? So we are going to leave this K and then we will write out the dimensional formula for mass. Now the dimensional formula for mass, M raised to power 1, L raised to power 0 and T raised to power 0. The whole power was A. Now we have to write out the dimensional formula for length. Okay, how we have written it? M raised to power was A. So we have to write out the dimensional formula for mass and we are going to raise its power to A. Similarly, L raised to power B is present over here. Then in place of L stands for length. We have to write out the dimensional formula M0, L, T0. Okay, and the power was B. So we are going to raise the power of this dimensional formula to B. Then we are having acceleration due to gravity G. We have to write out the dimensional formula. It is M0, L, T minus 2 and the power is raised to C. Got it? Okay. This is the step third. Now since, what we are going to do? We are going to reduce the right hand side, which we had just written. Okay. Now let's see how we are going to reduce this right hand side. We are going to reduce the right hand side. Now be careful. M raised to power 1 multiplied with A. So it is written as M raised to power. Got it? Okay. Then M raised to power 0 multiplied with B, it becomes 0. And we are going to multiply M, M and M. So, along with their powers, M raised to power 1 multiplied with A, it is written as M raised to power A. Then 0 multiplied with B, we are going to write plus 0. Then 0 multiplied with C, again 0. So, the entire multiplication of M in the right hand side, it is M raised to power A plus 0 plus 0. Then we have to write out the reduction for L. We have to multiply all the L in the right hand side. L raised to power 0 into A, it becomes 0. 1 into B, it becomes B. And 1 into C, it becomes C. Got it? So L raised to power 0, 0. L raised to power 1 into B, B, so plus B. L raised to power 1 into C, plus C, so plus C. Then, we have to do the calculations for time. T raised to power is 0 into A, so it is written as 0. T raised to power 0 into B, it is again written as 0. Then T raised to power minus 2 into C, it is written as minus 2C. Fine. Okay. And then you have to enclose it in the square brackets. Got it? Now, this thing can be further reduced to M raised to power A plus 0 plus 0, it can be written as A. L raised to power 0 plus B plus C, it can be written as B plus C. T raised to power 0 plus 0 minus 2C, it can be written as minus 2C. Fine? Okay? And then, what do you have to do? You have to just write out this left hand side. Okay? Now, it finishes, it completes the step 3. Now the step 4. What we are going to do in the step 4? In the step 4, since what we are going to do, we are going to compare the left hand side with the right hand side. We are going to compare the powers A, B and C, okay, on both sides. Now we have to compare. Comparing both sides, we get, what we get? M raised to power is A, and the left hand side we are having M raised to power 0. So the value of A is written as 0. In the right hand side, L raised to power is B plus C, and the left hand side L raised to power is 0. So the value of B plus C, it is written as 0. In the right hand side, T raised to power is minus 2C. In the left hand side, T raised to power is 1. So the value for minus 2C, it is equals to 1. Okay? Got it? Now, in the same step 4, since we have to solve the values for A, B and C, and we are just going to use the simple mathematics of class 9th or class 10th. That is how to use the linear equations in one variable, how to use the simple equations. Okay? Now sirs, look carefully. Our aim was to calculate the values for A, B and C. The value of A is 0, so there is no need to calculate it. Now let us think about this equation number 3. In this equation number 3, we are having minus 2C equals to 1. So we can do the calculations for C. So the equation which you are considering for calculation, first of all you have to write it out. Okay? The equation which we are using to calculate any unknown, you have to write out that equation. Then you have to do the calculation. Now C can be written as minus 1 by 2. Okay? Why? Because minus 2C equals to 1. So C is minus 1 by 2. Now it comes the term of B plus C equals to 0. That is equation number 2. So again, I have to write out the equation. Why? Because I have to do the calculations for the value of B. The value of A, there was no need to calculate the value of A. Why? Because it was 0. We had calculated the value for C. Okay? And now we have to calculate the value for B. So since B plus C was 0, so it can be written as B equals to minus of C. Yes or no? Then you have to just write out the value of C, okay, in its place. Now B is written as negative of negative 1 by 2. Okay? Now we get this B is equals to 1 by 2. Now what we are going to do in the step 4th, remember, you have to just compare on both sides, on both the left hand side and the right hand side. Okay? By comparing the left hand side with the right hand side, you will get the values of the parts, say the parts A, B, C, or any mathematical operations which are provided in the right hand side. Okay? Then you have to do the calculations, okay, to find out the unknowns, the values of the unknowns, that is A, B and C. Fine? Now this finishes up the step 4. Copied? Copied students. Done? Now students, now since the step 5, last step. In the last step, what we are going to do, we are again going to consider the equation which we had obtained in the step 2. Okay? And in that equation, we are just going to write out the values, the calculated values of A, B and C. Okay? Now, in the step 2, the equation which we had obtained, the equation was K M raised to power A, L raised to power B and G raised to power C. It was the equation in the step 3. In the step 2. Now, what do you have to do? We have to just write out the values of A, B and C in this equation. So T was written as say K M raised to power A is 0. So we are going to write 0 over here. L raised to power B, B was half. So we are going to use half. G raised to power was C. C was minus 1 by 2. So it is written as minus 1 by 2. Got it? Then we have to just reduce it. So T can be written as K. M raised to power 0. It is nothing but 1. So there is no need to write out 1. Got it? M raised to power 0 is 1. So there is no need to write out 1 over here. Then we are having M raised to power 1 by 2. Okay. Then we are having G raised to power minus 1 by 2. How we are going to write out this G raised to power minus 1 by 2? Remember, any power which is negative, it has to be written in the denominator. How we can going to write this G raised to power minus 1 by 2? We can write this as G raised to power minus 1 by 2 can be written as G raised to power 1 by 2. Got it? I am showing you. G raised to power minus 1 by 2, it is written as 1 divided by G raised to power 1 by 2. Okay? It is the mathematical property which we had, or I can say that you had studied in your class, in lower classes, say in the class 5th or 6th. Okay? Over here it is clear? Now, let us further reduce it. How it can be reduced? Anything raised to power 1 by 2, it can be written as square root of that. So this T is written as K, square root of N. G raised to power is half, so square root of G. Got it? Okay? Now, we can say that this T is written as K, whole root of L by G. Got it? It is the required expression switch. Okay? Up to this particular calculation, the step 5th is completed. But since there are certain laws, there are certain expressions, there are certain observations in our physics in which the value of K was experimentally observed. Okay? So since in those cases, I will tell you which value you are going to use in place of K. Okay? There are, we can say only, say 4 to 5 problems in which we are going to use the special values of K. Okay? Now, in this particular case, that is when the time period of the simple pendulum was experimentally determined by the scientists, then they led to the conclusion that the value of K is 2 pi. What is the value of K? In this particular case, we are going to use 2 pi as the value of K. It is a special case. Now, I can say that the time period of the oscillating pendulum is written as 2 pi under root of L by G. Finished. Finished. Okay? It is the required relationship between the time period of the oscillating simple pendulum, the length of the string, the acceleration due to gravity, and the mass of the ball. Okay? As we had observed in the calculation that the power of mass, it comes out to be 0. That means that the time period of the oscillating simple pendulum, it does not depend on the mass of the ball. Or you can say the time period of the oscillating simple pendulum is independent of the mass of the ball. Got it, sense? So, in this particular time, we can determine the relationship between the different physical quantities. We can also determine that the given physical quantity will depend or it will not depend the given physical quantity. Got it? As in this question, when we are deriving the expression for the time period of the simple pendulum, then we had observed that time period, it does not depend on mass. How we know that? Because in the calculations, m raised to power was 0. Got it? If the power of any physical quantity is 0, that means a physical quantity will not depend on this physical quantity. Clear? Okay. Copy. Yes, so it's done. Now let us start with the second illustration. Okay? Now, since all of you are familiar, how does a liquid flows through the pipe? Now, since it is the matter of experience that greater the radius of the pipe, greater would be the amount of liquid which is flowing through the pipe. Greater the pressure difference, greater would be the amount of liquid which is flowing through the pipe. Okay? So, in this illustration, what we are going to discuss? We are going to derive the expression for rate of flow. What is rate of flow? Rate of flow of the liquid. Rate of flow is nothing but volume of the liquid which is flowing through the pipe divided by time. So it is volume per unit time. Okay? And that's the second question. The rate of flow. Rate of flow is written as capital V. Okay, symbolically I am writing out it as capital V. But remember, it is volume upon time. The rate of flow of the liquid through the pipe may depend upon pressure gradient P by L. The rate of flow of the flowing liquid is depending on pressure gradient. It is the first thing. Length sorry, it is not the length, it is the radius of the pipe. Okay, let us write out the symbol for radius. Radius is capital R. Got it? And coefficient of viscosity. Coefficient of viscosity of the liquid. Okay. Now, let us the question says, you just note it down, and I am starting how to proceed with this problem. Note it down. Done. Now, says in the step first, what do you have to do? We have to just write out the dependence. Dependence, remember, what you have to do? We have to derive the expression for the rate of flow. I should write it over here. Derive the expression for the rate of flow. Liquid through the pipe. Got it? Now, in the step 1, what do you have to do? You have to just write out the dependence. How you are going to write out the dependence? The symbol for the rate of flow is V. So it is directly proportional to the first physical quantity is pressure gradient. Pressure gradient is written as P by L. Pressure gradient is written as P by L. So we are going to write out the dependence as V is directly proportional to P by L, the symbol raised to the power A. Okay. Now, V is directly proportional to the second physical quantity is radius. So we are going to write out this dependence as V is directly proportional to the symbol R for radius. R is V. Then the third thing is coefficient of viscosity. So let's note its symbol. It is eta. The symbol is eta. Now the rate of flow is directly proportional to eta raised to power c. Okay? In the step 1, what we did, we had written the dependence of the given physical quantity on the other physical quantities. Okay? Now it is our step 1 and we had completed the step first. Now since what you have to do? We have to just write out the steps again. And remember, it is the step second sense in which we are going to obtain the equation. Now the step second is V is directly proportional to fuse them. It is P by L whole power A, R raised to power B and eta raised to power C. We are going to fuse all the dependencies. Now to remove this proportionality sign, you have to put the proportionality constant. Again, the proportionality constant is C. Say K. We are using K. K into P by L whole power A, R raised to power B and eta raised to power C. Now we had obtained the equation in the step second and this K as in the last question. This K is the dimensionless constant. K is the dimensionless constant. That is, K will not have any dimensional formula. Now since the step third, what we have to do in the step third, what we are going to do in the step third, again I am telling you, be very careful with the step third. Why? Because you have to write out the dimensional formulas of the different physical quantities in the step third. If you are writing out an incorrect dimensional formula for any physical quantity, then this entire question, the entire calculation, it becomes wrong. Okay, and you will be awarded 0. So better be careful. Now V, in the left hand side we are having rate of flow. Rate of flow is volume upon time. So its dimensional formula is m0 L3. L3 stands for volume. Okay, and time t is minus 1. So its dimensional formula is m0 L3 t minus 1. Okay, remember V is not volume, it is volume upon time. It is volume upon time. So its dimensional formula is m0 L3 t0. It is for volume and time is t. Take it in the numerator, then it is written as m0 L3 t minus 1. Okay. So the dimensional formula for the rate of flow of the liquid is m0 L3 t minus 1. Okay. Now, as K is dimensionless constant, so there is no need to write out 1 over here. Okay. Why? Because its dimensional formula is m0 L0 t0. Better to drop K. K को भूल जाएं. Now, pressure gradient, pressure upon length. Pressure upon length. The dimensional formula for pressure, it was ml minus 1 t minus 2, and for length it is L. So the dimensional formula for pressure gradient, it becomes ml minus 2 t minus 2. We had did this pressure gradient in the first lecture. So since its dimensional formula is ml minus 2 t minus 2. Okay, got it? Now, this pressure gradient was raised to power A. So we are going to use the power A in the dimensional formula for pressure gradient. Then we are having radius. The dimensional formula of radius is m0 L T0. The power is to be written as B. Why? Because the power of radius was B. Now, coefficient of viscosity. Okay, it was ml minus 1 T minus 1. It was ml minus 1 T minus 1. The power is C. Got it? We had discussed this coefficient of viscosity in the lecture first. Got it? Now, since you have to do the reduction of this right hand side, how we are going to reduce it? M raised to power 1 whole power is A. So it is written as m raised to power A. M raised to power 0 multiplied with B. It becomes 0. So you have to write 0. M raised to power 1 multiplied with C. It becomes C. Got it? Similarly, you have to do it for L. L raised to power minus 2A multiplied with A. So it is written as minus 2A. L raised to power 1 multiplied with B. It becomes B. L raised to power minus 1 multiplied with C. It becomes minus. Okay. Now, similarly, we are going to do the calculation for T. T raised to power is minus 2 into A minus 2A. Okay. Then T raised to power is 0. 0 into B, 0. T raised to power minus 1 into C, so minus. Okay. Then since we have to reduce this right hand side. How we are going to reduce it? M raised to power is A plus C. M raised to power is A plus C. L raised to power is minus 2A plus B minus C. And T raised to power minus 2A minus C. Got it? And this left hand side was M0 L3 T minus 1. Now this completes the step 3. Copy it. Done? Now comes out step 4. Now comes out step 4. What do you have to do in the step 4? In the step 4 sense, again, as in the last question, you have to just compare the left hand side with the right hand side. Compare left hand side with right hand side. We are going to compare the left hand side with the right hand side of the step 3. Okay, on comparing, let's see how to compare. M raised to power is A plus C and the left hand side M raised to power is 0. So we can get the value of A plus C. A plus C is written as 0. M raised to power is A plus C, in the left hand side M raised to power is 0. How we are going to compare? We have to write out the values. So A plus C is equals to 0. Similarly, it says M raised to power is minus 2A plus B minus C. In the left hand side it is 3. So the value for minus 2A plus B minus C, it is equals to 3. Got it? Similarly, T raised to power is minus 2A minus C and T raised to power is minus 1. So minus 2A minus C is written as minus 1. Got it? This is how we are going to compare the left hand side with the right hand side. Got it? No. Now, sirs, what do you have to do? In this step 4, we have to calculate the values for A, B and C. Okay? And to calculate, it is very simple for you to calculate the values of A, B and C. Why? Because you have to use simple equations or the linear equations in 2 variables. Now let us do the calculations. I am starting up with the equation number 1 and the equation number 3. Using A plus C equals to 0 and minus 2a minus c equals to minus 1. I am using these two equations. Got it? Now since add them. On adding them, c and minus c gets cancelled out. A and minus 2a, we are left with minus a over a. 0 minus 1, it gives you minus 1. So a is written as 1. A comes out to be 1. Fine. Now when we had calculated the value of a, we can calculate the value of c. We can calculate the value of c from this equation first or the third equation. Okay, I am using the equation number first. Now using a plus c equals to 0, we can say that c is written as minus of a. C is written as minus of a. So C is written as minus of A. A was 1. So C comes out to be minus 1. Got it? Now in the step, in the equation number second, you have to just write out the values of A and C to get the value of B. We are using the equation number second. The equation second was minus 2A plus B minus C. It was equals to 3. We had calculated the value for A, we had calculated the value for C. Now we are going to calculate the value of B. Okay? Now, minus 2 multiplied with. In the equation there was minus 2 multiplied with A. A was 1 plus AB minus of C. C was minus 1. So in place of C, we are going to write out minus 1. And the right hand side was 3. So sirs, let us do some calculation. Minus 2 plus B plus 1 gives you 3. Okay. In the left hand side, we are having now minus 2 plus 1, it will be minus 1 plus say B equals to 3. So the B is written as say 4. Now we had calculated the values for A, B and C. Got it? Now the step 4th is completed. Note it down. Done? Now in the step 5th, what we are going to do? We are going to use the equation which we had obtained in the step 2nd. What was that equation? That equation was V was equals to say K, pressure gradient P by L raised to power A, radius R raised to the power B, and acceleration due to, the coefficient of eta raised to power C. Okay, this was the equation. Now in the steps, we are going to write out the values of these calculated values, the calculated values of A, B and C. So V can be written as a K, P by L, the power was A, and the value for A is 1. So there is no need to write out 1. R raised to power was B, and the value for B which we had obtained is 4. So it is 4. Eta, the power was C, and the value for C is minus 1. So it is minus 1. Got it? So we can say that this V is written as a K, P by L, R raised to power 4 divided by eta. Okay? We can further reduce it. Now let's see how we are going to reduce it. We can reduce it as, say V is written as a K, P R raised to power 4 divided by L into eta. Okay? Why? Because P by L is written as in the numerator. Now it can be left up to the step. Again says, experimentally the value of K is determined in this case also. Now in this particular case, the value of K is pi by 8. The value of K is pi by 8. Okay? I will tell you all these special cases in which the value of K is determined experimentally by the scientists. Okay? So since the expression or the relationship between the different physical quantities can be written as pi by 8 P R raised to power 4 divided by L eta. It is the required expression. Finished. Done. Note it down. Note it down, sirs. Copied? Let me take one more illustration. Quickly, students, we are going to take this third illustration. The viscous force. Viscous force, say capital F, on the sphere of radius R falling through the liquid of coefficient of viscosity eta. The viscous force acting on the sphere of radius r falling through the liquid of coefficient viscosity eta, the velocity of the sphere is v. Okay, we have to derive the expression for viscous force. Okay, now in this data, students, there is a spherical body and that spherical body is falling through a liquid. Got it? The radius of the spherical body is r. The velocity with which this spherical body is falling through the liquid is v. Okay, and the coefficient of viscosity of liquid is eta. Okay. Oh, what do you have to do? We have to derive the expression for viscous force. Okay. Now the step one. In the step one, what do you have to do? We have to just write out the dependence. We have to derive the expression for force. So F directly proportional to, first thing is radius of the sphere. So r raised to power a, and F is directly proportional to coefficient of viscosity eta power b. F is directly proportional to the magnitude of velocity, or simply the velocity or the speed, v raised to power c. The step one is done. Okay. Now in the step second, what do you have to do? Condense them. F is directly proportional to r raised to power a, eta raised to power b, and v raised to power c. Okay. Now to remove this proportionality sign, what do you have to do? You have to put the proportionality constant. The proportionality constant which we are using is capital K. In the step second, we will obtain the equation. And again remember, K is dimensionless constant. K is dimensionless constant. Got it? Okay, the step one is completed. In the step second, we had obtained the relationship between the different physical quantities. Okay? Now comes out the third step, the most important step. Now the third step. In the step third, what do you have to do? You have to write out the dimensional formulas. Now the dimensional formula for force mlt minus 2. K is dimensionless constant, so we are going to drop out this K. Then comes out radius m0 L T0 whole power A. Why? Because R raised to power was A. Then coefficient of viscosity eta, it was ml minus 1 T minus 1. The power was B. Then comes out speed or the velocity. It is m0 L T minus 1. The power was C. Okay. Now you have to do the calculation of the right hand side. M raised to power 0 into A 0, 1 into B, B 0 into C 0. Got it? M raised to power 0 into A 0, M raised to power 1 into B, B, so plus B, then 0 into C 0, then L raised to power 1 into A, L raised to power minus 1 into B, minus B, L raised to power 1 into C, plus C. Then comes out T. T raised to power is 0, 0 into A 0, T raised to power minus 1 into B minus B, T raised to power minus 1 into C minus C. So this can be reduced to M raised to power is B, L raised to power is A minus B plus C, T raised to power is minus B minus C. And the left hand side was MLT minus 2. Okay? The step third, it completes. Done? Now the step 4. What you are going to do in the step 4, we have to compare on both sides. Comparing on both sides. Okay? Now make a comparison. M raised to power B. So B is written as, in the left hand side, M raised to power is 1. So B is 1. L raised to power is minus L raised to power was A minus B plus C equals to L raised to power is 1. Then T raised to power is minus B minus C, T raised to power is minus 2. Got it? Now since, look carefully, there is no need to calculate B. Why? Because B is equals to 1. Now we can use this equation number 3. Minus B minus C equals to minus 2. Got it? Now the entire negative sign is cancelled out. So we can write B plus C equals to 2. Okay? Now B is equals to 1. So in place of B, we can write 1. So C is written as 1. Okay? The value of B, there was no need to calculate the value for B. Why? Because it is 1. We had calculated the value for C. Now, let us calculate the value for A. Now in the equation number 2, we are having A minus B plus C is equals to 1. A minus B plus C equals to 1. So, the value for A, we had to calculate. The value for B, we had calculated, it was already calculated. B was 1. So, in place of B, you have to write out 1. We had calculated the value for C. So, in place of C, write its value. Okay. So, what do we have? A minus 1 plus 1 equals to 1. Thus, minus 1 plus 1, it becomes 0. So, A is equals to 1. Okay. Now, we had calculated the value for A, B and C. Done. The step 4 is completed. Note it down. Copy it. Done? Okay. Now comes the last step, the step 5th. The step 5th. You have to use the equation obtained in the step 2nd. This F was, say K, R raised to power A, eta raised to power was B, and V was C. Okay, it was the equation number. It was the equation in the step 2nd. Now you have to write down the values of A, B, and C. So this F is written as say K, R raised to power is A. A is 1. So r raised to power 1. There is no need to write out 1. Eta, the power for eta is b and the value for b is again 1. So again there is no need to write out 1. Then v raised to power is c. What is c? C is again 1. So again there is no need to write out 1. So students, it is the required expression which we had obtained in this illustration. So students, it is the relationship between the viscous force acting on the spherical body which is falling through a viscous medium or the liquid with the speed v and the coefficient of viscosity was eta. Okay, this is all for today, students. I will discuss few more questions in the next lecture. A few more questions will be of this type second. Remember, it is the most important type. Why? Because it is usually asked for 3 marks or 5 marks. Better to practice it out today. Okay, you can practice it today itself or the day after. Okay, thank you.